Most games of Lancer involve tales of war, interplanetary gallivanting, and epic fights akin to Gundam Titanfall and or Trigun. Our Lancer game was not like that. Our DM has a habit of inventing, shall we say, unorthodox plot hooks. These unique and unusual stories are then ruined by our psychotic playgroup. Thus, what was supposed to be a tale of intergalactic mystery and esoteric sci-fi concepts devolved into the equivalent of a Tom and Jerry episode with mechanized weapons intended for elite military use. I suppose I should introduce the characters first. Starting off with arguably the most sane character of our four, which isn't saying much, is the group's resident high-flying ace, Levi DeMeo. Levi, after spending some time as a spaceship pilot, won, shall we say, a mechanized chassis after a bar fight went south, and the previous owner tragically passed away. Levi was starting to get bored with piloting anyway, so a new profession was a good excuse to keep doing what they do best, pushing the limits of what can be considered a sane decision in both their career and hobby choices. A simultaneous adrenaline junkie and pragmatist, as oxymoronic as it sounds, Levi fulfills a sort of hypermobile artillery role in our party, flying around the battlefield as fast as possible with a big-ass gun because it's fun for both the player and the character. The player also occupies the role of the resident mecha anime enthusiast, so it's clear they were watching too much Gundam when making Levi. Similarly sane yet far more whingy is the squad's resident close combat expert, Jeremy Reingard. The son to a politician representing his nondescript planet in the Third Committee, Jeremy was used to two things: always getting what he wanted, materially speaking anyway, and also never being satisfied with that. The man was insecure to a fault. Typical rich kid shit. He started to use his dad's influence to live out his childhood dream, becoming a pilot/actor in what is essentially professional wrestling combined with mechanized gladiation. Once he showed the company organizers his daddy's money, it wasn't long until he started playing a role in the narrative of his matches, and eventually the entire company's storyline. He had all the validation a man-child could want, and things were going great. Right up until some space pirates raided the stadium he was performing at and massacred his opponent. More importantly, the pirates massacred his audience and took the company's stockpile of cash. That alone was enough to set Jeremy on the path for revenge. With his training in mech combat, it wasn't long until he was a full-fledged Lancer. He likes to hit things up close as hard and fast as possible, though out of the cockpit he tends to be a bit of a petty whiner. Now, Union is one of the most important factions in the Lancer universe, and it seems they sent one of their best Lancers to join our party. One might think that upon seeing Union-trained pilot Edward Lee, but they couldn't be more wrong. Edward abandoned the Union military on his first assignment because the man is nothing if not a raging coward. One shot glanced off his armor, barely scratching the paint, and he ran like hell because he genuinely thought he was going to die. Nowadays, you can find him raving in some backwater bar on the fringes of Union-owned space, extolling the virtues of his own bravery, while venomously condemning the fascist totalitarian rule of the Union's military-industrial complex. The issue is, when I said Edward Lee was nothing if not a coward, I was lying. Edward has two major character traits. The other one, funnily enough, is that he lies himself. A lot. The man is a chronic bullshitting womanizer who finds himself crying and drunk more often than he does coming out on top of a bar fight, or a gunfight with vicious Union dogs. He occupies the generalist role in our party, taking big guns to fire at a long distance when he can, but not being afraid of a close-quarter scrap. Well, actually, he is afraid of that, but his mech can still put in good work up close. It might sound like I'm being hard on poor Edward, calling him a coward and a charlatan, but he genuinely doesn't compare to the sheer depths of depravity reached by our fourth, most hilariously maddening party member, Derek Gage. Gage is a man with a checkered history. He started as an actor, trained to pilot mechs in film, usually assisted by AI. His movies like Dark Side of the Moon and Burn Notice usually featured high-tech and flashy, exclusive mechs to go along with his charismatic action and hero persona. Naturally, he became a fresh face and spokesman for the SSC's marketing division. However, after several scandals culminating on binging booze-cruising Bender, Derek Gage found himself penniless, bitchless, and the eternal laughingstock of shitty OmniNet tabloids. He needed to pick himself up and rebuild his career from scratch, and he's a commercial job for an upcoming film, which he did not star in, mind you, was the perfect gig to exercise his mech piloting abilities and win back some good PR in the industry. However, he just decided to steal the working frame used on set and venture out into the vast reaches of space. If he could win a new fortune as a mercenary and come back into space Hollywood as a fallen star in his redemption arc, he was sure to get that SSC sponsorship and spokesman role back. Well, at least according to him. The SSC had found another spokesman who's mysteriously a lot like Gage. Derek Gage is a close-quarters fighter, like Jeremy. Unlike Jeremy, though, his build focuses more on agility, stealth, and speed, breaking hard and fast from the shadows with mechs that are high-tech, and more importantly, good-looking. It's funny that 3/4 of the suits piloted by our party are stolen. Even so, we all started with basic GMS Everest frames and prepared for our first session, and the adventures that would come with it.
Warning, warning, all NHP systems within sensor range show dangerous levels of activity. Warning, additional scans show all shackling systems at a 97% rate of failure. Immediate action advised. Warning, warning, incoming transmissions from other systems indicate similar phenomena. Warning, 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 warning.